I can demand something because I know what is actually to be expected. But if I'm just making demands because there's something that I'm not able to receive and yet I'm still expecting or want to be met with, when you were angry, you let the sun let your anger down. So does that mean that the fact that I'm just letting time pass by? Not necessarily. You're more likely to be unfocused about the things that you should chime in more, you should. But it does not stop at the place where just because you have something, you cannot just have anger for you to not spend time in the things that is supposed to then bring you peace. If I'm at peace with a thing, then therefore I'm not harping on what makes me angry. Angry about a thing. I don't have time to process it. I'm angry. But I have to then allow at least there's a window of hope. There needs to be room. But the devil got room here too. Ooh. Two things happening at the same time. But you not looking at what is going to happen when what happens when grace doesn't fear no thing. Grace is not asking for you to be perfect. Grace is asking to allow yourself to be in the present. Allow this to happen. Allow this blessing to bestow on you, or else you're going to miss out what is for you. You could still be angry. But I'm not convinced because verse 31 says, put away from you all bitterness and wrath and anger and wrangling and slander, together with all malice, and be kind to one another, as God in Christ has forgiven me, you. Forget what it means. What that looks like is this: having a conversation with God. Because God is not just somebody you only talk to gossip or talk bad about others when they're not around. But it's funny how God is in relationship with me. And because if I don't know how to identify him, it's never about what I don't have. It's about how I feel. And see, this is the crazy part. God is not picking, God is not picking favorites. God does not have a top 5, top 10. God does not have besties, which is crazy. But so many of us are not looking at what would it be with knowing that having a relationship with the Creator, there are going to be then things that are not going to then be evident as to what makes you feel the way you feel, but you will also then now maybe start to then question, why were you at peace during these moments? Why were you then more quiet during these moments? Why was this now something that you just let slide during these moments? So what else did you have time for? And if you are a man who understands time is, yes, it's very important and you use it wisely, but you don't understand grace, that might actually anger you. Because what's going to be required of you is what? Being kind. That's not even the choice. That's not even a choice. That's not even an option. That is what is asked of you. Allow. I'm giving you permission. That's permission. That's the con. That is the part where the consent is just give that consent. So then when this arrives, there is not even going to be even why is this happening. Not ask a question that you won't expect to get an answer. So ask a question very wisely. But if you're angry, now this is where things get shaky. When are you more likely to sin? You was peaceful, or when you get this peace, did you ever think about questioning the peace now? As much as then now, why are you angry? Why are you angry? What caused you to be angry? And is this the last resort? As then the first thing for you is to do is to do the always the complete opposite, so you can feel the opposite of what you really say you actually feel. Last time I checked, I didn't go to school to actually figure out how people feel opposed when then they are met with their fate and their demise. One thing that you can call yourself many names, but you know you can't change how you feel about what you named, because there was something that you resonated with more than something, but there were things that was less likely to be what you're going to say that's what it is. You're being kind. So it's not just being kind to people that are kind to you. The thieves are now having to do something like having kind work. Use your hands kindly. Speaking kindly is a part of it too. But what if, oh, this is crazy here. But what if grace don't come before then now peace? No. Peace don't come as the first because you realize you're angry. Anger has not been questioned. So therefore, your day has now been decided based off the time and the space that the devil had room, and therefore you now have to be in this constant of being reminded of something that you don't know, because what you should know is the thing that you're constantly being met with. So it's not the peace, but when you're laying your head and things are going and you start speaking things that you know that's not making no sense, you better recognize, did you just walk past grace? Did grace require you not to just speak out loud just so you can be heard, but then there was an intention? Or maybe, or hold on, I'm not trying to get crazy here. Maybe a form of godly anger was picked up but was never received. Now that's hard. That's hard. That's hard. What more can I say?